Hey everyone, it's Rayce Robinson, your favorite Florida mortgage broker. I hope you're doing awesome, and I really hope you're doing as awesome as the Central Florida real estate market, because man, is it on fire. And really, the real estate market is on fire all over the country. So I want to go over what the numbers are, what's driving those numbers, and really what I think, and really a lot of the experts think is going to happen, not only this year, but through 2021. And if you find this video useful, do me a favor, like it, subscribe to my channel. I'm always putting out useful information if you're ever looking to buy or sell real estate. So let's take a look at the numbers here locally in Central Florida. Okay, so the key number, and these are the numbers through the end of September 2020. The key number I always like to look at first is inventory. So interesting, last year in September of 2019, there was 7,700 homes. There's 7,784 homes for sale. Fast forward to 2020, there's 5,972. That means there are less homes now than in a year ago, and that's just crazy low inventory for a market as big as Central Florida. Now, you might think that's because of COVID, right? Because maybe people weren't selling their homes. But if you look at last year, sales closed in 2019 was 2,989. For this year, it's 3,478. What does that tell me? Demand is just crazy. There's people buying, there's people selling and then buying and moving up, right? So there's so much activity in the market. And really, there's just so much demand for the inventory that's available in the market. If you look at that 5,972, there's only, of that number, there's 3,986 of those that are actually houses. So again, less than 4,000 houses if you're a buyer right now buying here in Central Florida, which again is ridiculously low for this market. Some cool numbers I was looking at now this is for Orlando, but I just thought it was interesting because it's really indicative of markets all over Central Florida and really most of the hot markets in the United States. So the median days on the market in Orlando was just over 21 days. That's crazy. I mean, now it's taking longer to close loans with all the volume. But that being said, I mean, you put your house on the market and you put it at a competitive price, it's going under contract right away. And if you sold a house this year, you probably know that. And if you're buying a house, unfortunately, you probably know that because you're competing oftentimes when you're trying to buy these houses. The sales to list price ratio is 97.8%, which means if you list your house for $100,000, you're getting $97,800. Which is really good. That ranks in one of the top in the market. So homes sold above list price is 19%. That's a 37.2% increase from last year. And homes that sell on a price drop are 17.8%, meaning some people put the house on the market, they do one drop, and then 17.8% of those are selling. And Orlando, what they list as the positives, obviously very low taxes. Big deal right now when you look at people, in California, Michigan, a lot of these states pay high taxes. That keeps people wanting to come to Florida. We're a homestead state. We have immense growth in population, and we're top 10% for millennial migration, which is really, really good for the future market. So Orlando is considered one of the top markets to be investing in as a great place to live for property values. That's one of the nice things in Central Florida, not only with the tourism and Disney, but there's so many people that want to live here. Many of the ups and downs in the real estate markets over the years we've been protected from. Some other numbers I thought were interesting. The average rent for the area is $1,447. A one bedroom being $1,278, and a two bedroom renting for about $1,516. And that's just an average. I thought this is really crazy, and this tells you how much lack of inventory there is. There's a 206% increase in construction and rehabs over the year, and that's all kinds of different properties. But in single family homes, there's 30% increase year over year in the construction that's going on as far as new single family homes inventory that will be coming on the market. So again, what does all that mean? That means the market's hot. And so if you're buying, you're competing, but you're getting some of the lowest rates all the time. And if you're selling, you're really getting what you're asking for the house, and you're getting it very quickly. The median price jumped up to about $270,000. So I think it's interesting to look at not only just these numbers, but what's driving the market, what's creating all this demand, and again, what's going to happen through this year and next year. Rates. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that interest rates are an all-time low. It's really on every news channel, and really the real estate market is one of the bright spots in the economy. And with rates so low, if you feel good about your job, and you've got some savings, and it all makes sense, it really is bringing people in record numbers out to buy. And it makes sense. And here's the big thing that people don't understand why rates are such a big deal. Obviously, it's a lower payment, but people don't realize how much of a lower payment is. So if you take the median loan of $270, it's really the median price, but let's take a loan of $270, and you look at 4.5%, which where rates were at just a year and a half ago, almost to 4.5%. Now you're in the mid to upper twos, low threes, depending on credit score and all these factors. But on average, you're saving about $250 a month on the payment. And for some reason in houses, I hear people say, well, we're going to wait and see if the prices come down a little. Well, say the prices came down $20,000. Every $10,000 that price comes down only saves you about $60 a month. So if it were to come down $20,000, that's only $120. Where just having the lower rate is saving you double that. So it really doesn't make sense to wait. Now again, there's all kinds of different conversations for real estate investors and flippers, but I've always said, if you're gonna buy a home and you're gonna be in there for the long term, take your rent and move it into equity, and the cheaper you can do that, the better. Really, after the crash of 2008, and I went through that, it really didn't matter what prices were if you didn't sell your home. A lot of people didn't sell their home. A lot of people didn't go into foreclosure. And percentage-wise, it was a very small. All the people that just kept making their payments were 100% fine, because they basically just, instead of going to pay rent, they kept paying their own house payment. A lot of people refinanced when rates dropped after that time, and really low payments all the way through. So right now is an opportunity to get the lowest payments of all time. And really, it's just a great time to buy. More programs. It does take a little longer to close with how busy everything is. The average closings went from 30 days to about 45 days for most lenders. But as far as timing, payment, you think about cars and anything else you buy, having a lower payment makes the affordability better. So even though the prices have went up some, and the median prices shot up about $20,000, really the cost for that house has went way down. So again, if you're a buyer or a seller, I can't think of a better time to sell than 2020. Even with the epidemic, it's really never slowed down. So kind of the question is, what's going to happen next year? This year, we'll talk about it a little bit, but really I'm more concerned about what will happen in 2021. Okay, so I'm looking into my crystal ball here, and I can tell you 100% here's what's going to happen. Nobody knows. But I'll give you my opinion on a couple of things. So one, I expect rates to stay low regardless of who becomes president all through next year, which is still going to be a big driver of the market. So almost every article, every prediction I've read says if you're waiting for the market to drop to buy, you might be waiting a long time. And places that are really hot markets like Central Florida, like I said, we get shielded from a lot of the other things. Our businesses are open and different stuff. So it's probably, does not make sense to wait, because even if the market slows down, which could and will happen at some point in the future, that doesn't mean prices are going to drop. It just means the appreciation could slow down. And if rates were to go up on top of that, you might have to pay a couple $100 more for that same house. So if you look at all the, the Mortgage Brokers Association and all the people that track real estate, even, the big investment banks, most of them are predicting a strong real estate market throughout next year. Though there are some factors that play out that I've done other videos on that I'm not going to cover here, but things like the eviction crisis, all the people that put their mortgages into forbearance, some of that stuff has to play out. And a good way to do that is to tune into my videos, because if you see inventory climbing, that's going to be an indication that the market is cooling off a little bit. So again, the best thing you can do if you have a particular question about buying a home, reach out to me. I do no lender fees, straight, honest mortgage advice you can count on. I work with lots of different banks to help you get the best deal on a mortgage. I'll be, show you lots of different options. And whether you're going to buy now or in the future, the time to be looking at it is now. Because if you're buying in the future, you might be able to do things to help you be ready to buy in the future. And if you're looking to get pre-approved, we can do it quickly, go over all the numbers. And I really look at it as a pre-approval process, as an educational process, so that you know not only how you're getting the best deal, but really how the whole process works. So if you have any questions on that or anything else, let me know. Have a great day. Let me know what I can do to help. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. you.